All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostle and others with Millstone, who teach very well. Why not this truth from his salutation out there to the hopeful elect who continue to push this word in all truth, faith, and sincerity. And also, Shalom to all the men, women, and children who sincerely believe upon the words of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua. And on today, just basically going on prophecy once again, because it's already prophesied about the destruction of the Western Hemisphere, man. The destruction of America, Babylon the Great, the most wickedest placed upon the planet Earth. The Lord have already predestinated this from the beginning. You know, people think that China and America going back and forth, or China and Russia going back and forth, and even America versus the Middle East. You think that's such a coincidence, not knowing that it's going to be brewed up into World War III. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get the scriptures before we start off. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, because you have to realize that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is a man of war. You know, people say the Lord of hosts. That's just not a nickname to sound cool. Once you go into the Lord of hosts, it actually goes back into the Lord of armies, the Lord of Sabaoth, man. Because Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is going to get ready to introduce himself once again as the power of Al-Shijah, that terrible demon-like power which will punish the planet Earth for his wickedness. So let's go ahead and get this in Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Let's jump down. It says, verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And we're definitely is not in the time of peace right now. You know, just ask those people over there in Ukraine. They get their ass kicked over there. And even over there in Palestine. You know, and there's a lot of cyber wars, proxy wars, economic wars is going on upon the planet Earth that these people are not aware of. But we got to say, call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai for the Lord revealing these things unto us, man. Because we can see World War III as clear as day. But these other people think it's going to be in the future time. Your grandson is going to be the ones fighting World War III, not knowing it's going to be you and your son, man. Y'all going to be shoulder to shoulder on the battlefield. But again, it's biblical prophecy. Let's get something else too. Let's go to Matthew 24, because this is a part of the signs before the return of Yahweh Shai. You can see the title right here, Signs of a Mashiach's Return. Because the sign of his return would not be the spirit of love and happiness, man. The signs of Yahweh Shai return will not be everything is going good. The Lord even said, if I come, shall I find faith upon the planet Earth? Roughly paraphrasing, if I come and light the fire, should it be if it's already be kindled? Showing you that things are already going to be ramped up before Yahweh Shai comes, man. You know, so let's go ahead and let's start at verse 1. It says, Yahweh Shai went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to shew him the building of the temple. Yahweh Shai said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came to him talking to him privately because they didn't understand what was going on. They didn't understand the parables that Yahweh Shai was pushing forth, because the temporal things that we see here, and even the things that people trust in, because back then, going to the ancient world, a lot of Jakes was trusting in the temple, but we seen what happened with that during 79 AD, man. You know, but let's go ahead and continue on. It says, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And we seeing the signs of the end of the world right before your eyes. One thing that these people push forth on a high esteem is nuclear warfare. Now, some people say an asteroid. Some people that's crazy say volcanoes, the AI. not knowing that it's going to be the nuclear weapons that's going to be the end of this current society, the end of the age of Esau, not the end of the complete planet Earth. Let's go ahead and continue on. And Yahweh shall answer and said unto him, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And a part of you being deceived is you listening to these false prophets that's telling you that evils are not coming. When specifically in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua said, give them warning from me. You know, the Lord is basically giving you warning from the power that you should really fear, man. Continuing on, the point, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And we are hearing of wars and rumors of wars, man. Again, the war of America versus Russia have been brewing up for years, man. The war between Russia and Ukraine, that's been brewing up since the Cold War. You know what I'm saying? Even China and India, and in the Middle East, Palestine and Israel. These things are not just for no reason. No, these things are the rumors that Yahweh shall push it forth, man. You know, matter of fact, yep, let's get this real quick, and I'm gonna jump back to this. This is the book of Jeremiah 51, and I'm gonna jump down to verse 40. Yep, Jeremiah 51. Yep, and I'm gonna start at verse 46, get to the point. Matter of fact, verse 45. My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And again, going out the midst of her is, not you getting the plane ticket. It's basically you escaping this place first with your mind. Because a lot of these people are in the mind of the Babylonians. You're going to get destroyed with the Babylonians, man. No matter if you're a Ephraimite, a Judite, an Escherite, if you have that Babylonian mindset, you're going to get destroyed with this place. Let's continue on. At least your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that, in another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. So it's going to get to a point when these rumors are going to come into facts, man. And it even tells us that in the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, although it tarry, wait for it shall surely come. It would not tarry, man. So the war and the violence of the land is not tarrying no longer. Again, read Ezekiel 38th chapter. Russia is a guard to these Middle East nations, and America is a guard unto Israel and the rest of these different nations. NATO and the EU, man. The least of the flock is going to draw them out, because these different proxy wars is just going to grow into a bigger war, which is going to grow to World War III, which is going to go into nuclear warfare, man. Even when you go into the times of World War I and World War II, it was a build up into that, man. Those things didn't just happen overnight. And that's what Jacob's looking for. They say Babylon's going to get destroyed. Jacob look tomorrow, and that's the right spirit to be in. But you have to realize that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, he dealt with time, and he dealt with patience. And that's why the scriptures say, patience possess ye your souls, man. Because all of us want this place to be destroyed, man. But we have to be patient, man. And another word for patience, too, is suffering. Because we are suffering here in this place called Babylon the Great. But real quick, man, before I get the scriptures, continue to get in the scriptures, let's get 2 articles that I have. The inspiration and the title of the video. You don't want to live in America's nuclear sponge. Now, they got different, states saying, yeah, this is the main target, but America as a whole would be a nuclear sponge. And I will have the scriptures to back it up. But let's read a little bit more of this, man. It says, you have to be a real optimist to think we can keep thousands of nuclear weapons in fireable human hands indefinitely, and nothing terrible will happen. Something terrible will happen, and it will mean the end of human civilization. Now, that's Esau, that misery, love, company spirit, Esau civilization, man. Because hey, guess what? The end of Esau world is actually the beginning of the world of Jacob, man. You know? So the nuclear missiles will actually be the end of this current time, the day of doom. Continuing on. The risks are growing today. 9 nations hold over 12,000 nuclear weapons, not even count the warheads. And what about the ones that they didn't even put on the list? You know? You got to realize that they really underplaying this number. Because you say, what about 200,000? You know, Jake going to use that. What about you got to account the warheads, and you also have to account the weapons that these devils ain't even push out. You know, because Russia is not going to tell you everything they got. America is not going to tell you everything they got. Russia or even India. India got missiles too. They might be looking like a poor country. They have over 1 billion people that live there. Their economy is kind of shabby, but they're up there with technology, man. You have to realize India is going to play a major part of the weapons getting shot off, man. Because there's only a few nations right here that have nuclear capabilities, but it only takes email. It only takes a couple of shipments for you to have nuclear weapons now. That's why it says the risks are growing. The United States and Russia have most of them, about 90% of the global total, but China may be trying to catch up. The fear that China might increase its nuclear arsenal from some 500 to 1,000 weapons have fueled calls for America to abandon all arms control limits and vastly increase its stockpile of some 5,000 weapons. In fact, massive new programs to build a new generation of nuclear armed bombs, submarines, and missiles. And it's not no coincidence that it's a thing called hypersonic missiles. You got to realize the Lord, he's increasing Esau weapon. Because you got to know that the nuclear weapons is the perfection of the sword, man. You know? Let's get this real quick. Let me see. I think that's in Ezekiel when the Lord wet his sword. Please bear me, Akim. Because at the end of the day, it's not like the Lord is going to drop on what is called the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the same boom they dropped on the Gooks. No, these weapons are going to be actually a whole new generation. There's going to be a whole new feeling to it, and it's going to be more powerful, you know? And that's a part of the Lord increasing his weaponry, man. That's a part of Yahweh Shai increasing his sword. Because the Lord, he's not going to talk to you face to face. It's not like he's just going to come down upon the planet Earth and say, yes, Esau, no. Number one, he's going to use his prophets. And on top of that, he's going to ultimately show you better than he can tell you. Because once you stop hearkening and once you stop listening and thinking you doing your own thing, you got it right all on your own, guess what? Then the Lord is going to surprise you and show you that you don't know not a damn thing, man. You know, let me see if this is it's not it. Please bear me, Akim. But I'm gonna read this one more time. It says the fear of China might increase its nuclear arsenal. And again, because nobody don't want to have the same weapons. It's like you having a 6-shooter in the midst of everybody look at AR-15s, man. America got 5,000 missiles, but for the lack of better words, they want China to have 500. You think China gonna let that play off? No, they're gonna want to increase their weaponry too. It says has fueled calls for America to abandon all armed control limits and vastly increase its stockpile. Because again, it's to a point when these different nations, Esau, there was a time it was like 2-3 years ago, they had their nuclear arsenal deal with Iran, and Trump backed up out of it because he knew prophecy, whether he knew it consciously or subconsciously. He knew that Yahweh wanted America to have more missiles, man. Even Iran to have missiles. Continuing on. In fact, massive new programs to build a new generation of
nuclear-armed bombers, submarines, and missiles were well underway before China began to build up and may have triggered China move. Yes, I think this is it. This is the book of Ezekiel 21, and I'm gonna start at verse. Yep. Matter of fact, let me get through that. I got it right here. That's the spirit. Ezekiel 21, and we're gonna start at verse 8. Ezekiel 21 and verse 8. It says, again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Because again, it's not like the Lord is just going to keep the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the fat one little boy. The same bombs that was dropped on the Dukes is going to be the same missiles that's going to be shot across the whole planet Earth. No, the Lord is going to increase it. A whole new generation of missiles that's getting flown in, through the B-2 bombers, from a submarine, from a silo from the ground. All these things are happening, man. Now let's get that word sharpened and furbished real quick so we continue on. That word sharpened, Strong's H2300, to be sharpened, be alert, be keen. Another word right there, it says to be severe, to be fierce. Because the missiles that's going to get dropped right now is going to be way more fiercer than the missiles that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. Let's get this word furbished. Strong's H4803, to polish, make bare, make bald. That's pretty much it. To be sharpened. Let's go back to the scriptures. That word right there, sharpened, though, is to be fierce. It says, continuing on to verse 10, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. So these missiles are not created just to make it more better. This time it's going to be a bomb of gas and it's just going to knock everybody out. No. That means this weaponry or this type of nuclear arsenal is going to be more deadlier, man. That's why America is going to be a nuclear sponge. It says it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Shall we then make mirth? Yes, you bullshitting, partying bullshit. It contend with the rod, my son, as every tree. And he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened and furbished to give into the hand of the slayer. And really, we know Esau, when he created these missiles, they say he got the power to push the button, but really it's Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahushua who have control of these nuclear weapons, man. It's Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahushua who have control of the arsenal. So at the end of the day, the increase of submarines in China and the different way of these people making missiles, it's not for no reason. It's actually to fulfill prophecy. Let's read a little bit more of this article. And again, it's a missile in a silo. 50 years ago, not going to say 50 years ago, 60, 70 years ago, back in the time in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, this was foreign. But now it's reality, man. This is how we know that we're coming into the time of our Lord Yahushua. Let's go ahead and read a little bit more. It says the cost of new nuclear armed race, that's it. That's how you know that it's sharpened. That new nuclear armed race is high. A new report shows that global spending on nuclear weapons jumped last year. The United States accounted for 8% of that increase. Read a little bit more. The global cost in the U.S. share will grow. The U.S. spending climbed again to more than $70 billion. The Congress Budget Office estimates the government will spend over $750 billion on nuclear weapons over the next 10 years. The total modernization cost will likely be $2 trillion. So they spending all this money. Like a bride, you spend all that money on a bride, you looking for something. You know what I'm saying? So America is spending all this money on nuclear weapons because they're looking for something, man. They're not looking to take this place on another date. No, they're looking for destruction. $2 trillion into military. It's not nothing like, man. Add in the $30 billion A year spent on programs to intercept ballistic missiles and cost goes from unimaginable to unaffordable. So showing you, man, that a lot of money is getting thrown around to do this new nuclear arms race. And again, these weapons are not going to be used to be put into a museum 50 years down the line. No, these weapons are used to increase, for the lack of better words, to increase the damage that's going to be happening on various parts upon the planet Earth. Yeah, even though America is going to get hit, certain parts of Russia, certain parts of China, Israel going to get hit, America is just the main stage. That's why the title of the video is America will be a nuclear sponge. It was going to soak up all that heat, man. Let's see if it's a little bit more. Though it gets worse. The Air Force just disclosed the price of the new intercontinental ballistic missiles, showing you things are increasing, showing you that their sword is getting sharpened. This is not that same dull sword of Fat Boy and Little Boy, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is a whole new thing. Has jumped 37%. Originally, the Air Force claimed that replacing the existing force of 400 Minutemen, 3 missiles, cost only $62 billion. That rose to $95 billion because it's a lot of maintenance you have to do on it. And again, for lack of better words, there's a lot of missiles that intercept other missiles, so they working on things like that too. That's why all this money is getting pushed in this. And even though people think America, just the weaponry militarization and all that, hey, there was actually invest in other companies. You think somebody going to school for engineering or somebody going to school for computer science? Hey, a lot of times it be the military that be playing for their school, man. It says that rose $95 billion, then to more than $125 billion, plus $10 billion more for the nuclear warheads, which is the thing that's going to hurt. It says in the new report, the Watchdog Group, taxpayers' common sense warns the price tag can hit $315 billion, man. And again, this is not no coincidence. These things and these weapons and all this money and resources that's getting pushed in this is not for no reason. These resources getting pushed in this just so it can be put to use. Let's go ahead and get the scriptures, man. Let's go right here. This is the book of Jeremiah 50, and I'm going to jump down to verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her, and from thence shall she be taken." So all these missiles and everybody that hold nuclear capabilities, which is a lot of countries, man, whether you know it or not, and it's not no coincidence that that Cuban missile crisis is jumping back up. This time it's not going to be no pump fake, man. This time, for the lack of better words, Lord willing, that's a part of that rumor 1 year, another year, but we hope this time they're gonna stay there, man. It says, read this again. It says, "And they shall set themselves array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." So the missiles is going to be shot out by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's that mighty expert man. But real quick, let's get that word array. Let's get that word array. That word array, real quick, Strong's H6186. It says array, to arrange, set, or put in order, set in array, prepare, handle, furnish, esteem, direct, because it's going to be our direct line, Let's go ahead and continue on a little bit more. To arrange, to set in order, to arrange, to set in order. And it even tells us in the book of Joel, we ain't got to get it, but it says when those missiles get shot off, the scriptures say that none shall break her ranks. So all the missiles are going to be decently and in order to line up and shoot against Babylon, man. And again, another word, it says expert in the war. Strong's definition is expert in war, furnish, handle, join in battle. So showing you that this is not talking about hands in hands or right. No, it's talking about that the Lord is going to shoot the missiles, man. And they're gonna do damage. That's the reason why they throwing all that money in there. You think how much America throwing? Just imagine how much China throwing. Just imagine how much Russia throwing, India, Iran, Israel. Everybody is prepared for World War III now. Let's continue on though. 50 and 10. And Chaldea shall be spoiled. All that spoiled her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord Yahweh. Now, Chaldea is an ancient city in Babylon that was heavy in witchcraft. Now, Chaldea today will be known as America. I know down here in Birmingham, Alabama, this place is known as Magic City. There's a lot of witches and warlocks that stay here. They do different seances. You know, they try to feed you different things to put you under their spell. Guess what? The Lord is going to destroy this place, man. And everybody that's joined to it, so all the witches and warlocks that's joined to this wicked place, you're going to be destroyed too, man. Because the only thing that you're doing is furthering the wickedness of Babylon, man. Verse 11, because you were glad, because you rejoiced, or you destroys of my inheritance. Yes, you was happy when Jake was going off, man. You was happy when we was just niggas shucking and jiving, man. They was happy when we was calling ourselves Negroes and colored. They was rejoicing when we was just niggas, man. But now we return to ourselves, and now we know who we are. Now judgment must come to pass, because ye have grown fat as a heifer and as a bellow as bulls. You got proud, man. And we already know that Proverbs, what that is, 16 and 18, pride go up before destruction. And there's no coincidence this 4th of July. This article came, I had this article for 2 days now. It ain't no coincidence that you don't think that you're going to be touched, man. Not knowing that all these places are going to touch you. And that's the reason why America just go around on the planet Earth as that I can do as I want spirit. Because you think you can go over the Middle East and say, yeah, they got weapons of mass destruction and destroy a lot of things, knock a lot of people off, break up families, break up cities. You even destroy the hospitals, man. Civilians are, you know, a lot of people you would be hearing are civilians, man. Some can be Jake, because we know Jake is scattered. But everybody have realized that you're the devil that the Bible speaks of. For years and centuries and decades have America terrorized the planet Earth. Now it's coming to a time where you're going to be terrorized, man. Verse 12, your mother shall be so confounded, she that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nation shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Now, your mother right there is talking about Britain, because even Britain got missiles heading towards this way. It's not no coincidence either that Brexit, brothers know, going back what that happened about 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, Brexit. It's talk of Brexit and Grexit. It's not no coincidence that these different countries are breaking ties with America. And one of those countries is Britain, even though they're kind of tied in the hip a little bit, but that relationship between Britain and America is getting broken up each day as the day goes on. That's a part of biblical prophecy. Let's go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter, going down to the statue in that foot who was partly strong and partly weak, had stone. It was mixed with clay and stone, which actually representation of some of the nations are going to be strong and some of the nations are going to be weak. You know, and it gets to a point where a lot of these nations don't want to pay taxes, for Denmark. You know what I'm saying? Denmark is not holding up its weight. So for the lack of better words, everybody's going to come against America through the ICBM missiles. That's continuing on. Because of the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, it should not be inhabited. But it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. Because it's going to be the ultimate example of what not to do. When the Lord hit Babylon, it's a such thing called overkill. Instead of you hitting somebody one time, you hit them a couple times, and you reload again, and you hit them again. That's how the Lord is going to do Babylon, man. To totally cleanse this place from all the filthy things they push forth. 14, the point. Put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, For she have sinned against the Lord, and that's biblical prophecy, man. All the ones that have nuclear capabilities, aim your longitude and latitude towards America. And that goes into the next article. Welcome to America's nuclear sponge. If ICBMs are meant to draw enemy missiles toward America's soil, it's time to rethink our nuclear strategy. Because American nuclear strategy right now is we're going to shoot them off and nobody ain't going to mess with you. You did that during the time of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but the difference between now and then is everybody have that button now, man. Let's go ahead and read a little bit more of this. The United States currently deploys hundreds of nuclear missiles across Colorado, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Wyoming. Each missile carries a nuclear payload many times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. So this nuclear weaponry is going to be totally outweighed. It's going to be furbished. It's going to be way better than the things that got dropped on the gooks, man. Let's go ahead and read a little bit more. It says the Pentagon is now planning to build a new deadlier generation of these missiles, which are housed in underground silos. Why are they doing all this? If it's going to be a denuclearization 10 years down the line. No, these weapons are finna get ready to be put unto the master's use. And who's the master? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Continuing on them. But these intercontinental ballistic missiles or ICBMs are not meant to be launched ever, not even in a nuclear war. The primary mission is to be destroyed in the underground along all the people that live anywhere near them. Their main purpose is to absorb a nuclear attack from Russia, acting as a giant nuclear sponge. Such is the twisted logic of atomic warfare. You're trying to fight fire with fire, and the only thing you're going to do is increase the fight. Because it's already mentioned in the book of Joel. Let me see. Please bear my alchemy up. This is the book of Joel 2. And I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march everyone on their ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Now, these mighty men is not talking about a physical army. It's talking about a mental army. That mental army, which comes in the form of the ICBMs, they're not going to break apart. They're not going to change. They're not going to trip over each other. No, they're going to be aimed at their target. Continuing on. Neither shall they thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So when they fall upon the nuclear sponge, they're not going to be wounded. The only thing it's going to do is add more fuel unto the fire. That's why I said such is the twisted logic of atomic warfare. You have weapons in the ground which you're not even ready to use. You got weapons in the ground just for a pump fake, but those weapons in the ground is only going to increase the destruction of this land. Let's get this in the book of Job. Job 18, and I'm going to start at verse 7. The steps of his strength shall be strength, and his own counsel shall cast him down. And a part of his own counsel cast him down is this guy counseled to create ICBMs, man. This guy counseled together to create nuclear weaponry. The same thing that puts you on top is going to be the same thing that knocks you off. It says, for he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. That's the ICBMs that's in silos. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber, which is Yahweh Shai, the thief in the night, shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap in him, in the way. So again, this is only to your destruction, man. You have silos in the ground, thinking that you're going to use these to absorb the nuclear heat, which only thing it's going to do is make it worse. It even a lot of the nuclear weapons, they don't even some hit ground zero, but some hit in the air and then they explode. So now it have a more wide range of nuclear destruction, man. But it never made sense to draw a nuclear attack toward the United States rather than away from it. Even during the Cold War analysis challenged this plan, claiming it was madness to use U.S. real estate as a great sponge to absorb Soviet nuclear weapons. But guess what? Not only Soviet weapons, China weapons, Iran, bring India, and various nations is going to let America absorb their weapons, man. Like it says in the scriptures, he's going to open up your quiver into every arrow, man. Which goes back into, America being that whore, but also going back into you're going to absorb all the destruction that the Lord have meant for you, Yeah, I can just a quick look video, Lord willing. I pray it was edifying, but at the end of the day, the missiles are not meant to be put into a museum. So yeah, I pray this video was edifying. I'm going to say, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to my apostle elders, Great Millstone, and Shadowwan.